Hello, government students. It's Mr. Mullenkamp. I promised to get this out by 3 o'clock. I am cutting it close. One reason is because I keep messing up and having to start all over again. Not good. So, if you remember, the poster, the slide that you're going to be working on tomorrow in class, not for homework. This is all you have to do for homework is listen to this. The slide that you're working on is all about convincing your fellow American whether to vote for the Constitution or against this new Constitution. The Federalists wanted the Constitution. The Anti-Federalists, they were opposed. They were opposed also because this was not supposed to happen. The convention in Philadelphia was supposed to amend the Articles, and instead, they wrote this new document. And what was not included in the new document in the Constitution was a list of Bill of Rights, a list of freedoms that was protected particularly from the national government. So they were really upset about that. That was their number one complaint by far, was the omission of freedoms, guarantee of freedoms, protection from the national government. So again, real quick, the Federalists favored the Constitution, a strong central government led by many of our founding fathers from the American Revolution. They helped write the Constitution. The Anti-Federalists, they thought this writing of the Constitution was done in secrecy. It was illegal, took too many powers away from the states. They didn't want a strong national government again like we had with Great Britain. So let's go through a few things to help you out. Federalists, they felt like we needed a stronger national government in order to enforce the laws that were passed. Remember, there was no executive branch with the Articles of Confederation. We needed a standing army and navy, and they were in favor of this concept called federalism. Federalism is when you divide up powers, national government, state government, local government. Each of the levels has powers. Anti-Federalists, they weren't real happy about this federalism idea. They wanted state power. They wanted weak national. They didn't like this federalism thing. So they were scared that a national government would overshadow state powers. They still consider themselves states and not necessarily one big country. They also, again, getting back to the Bill of Rights, they wanted protection from the national government and freedoms. They wanted protection for their freedoms. There was no executive branch, as we said, in the Articles of Confederation, so the Federalists wanted somebody to carry out the laws. The Anti-Federalists distrusted a one-man executive. That sounds too much like a king. There were no term limits on the president back then, and that also sounded a lot like a king. So the Anti-Federalists did not like that idea, even though the president was going to be elected. There was no judicial branch with the Articles of Confederation, but now under the Constitution, there was going to be a judicial branch to interpret the laws, to see if the executive branch overstepped their boundaries, to make rulings, to interpret the laws. The Federalists wanted the Supreme Court to have life appointments. This scared the Anti-Federalists, no doubt about it. And the Federalists worried that courts would take too much power away from the states. They were constantly worried about taking away power from the states. They didn't want that. Remember, they thought of themselves as Virginians and not Americans. So the Federalists wanted 9 out of 13 states to approve the new Constitution. Anti-Federalists, slow moving, didn't like change. They wanted all states to ratify. Turned out to be 9 out of 13. Already covered this to a certain extent. Federalists wanted to divide up the power, national government having a lot of power, state governments having some power. Anti-Federalists wanted the exact opposite. They wanted the states with the most power by far. You can see what the legislative terms are. Federalists are proposing a bicameral legislature. In other words, there's two houses, the House of Representatives and the Senate. You see the years that you served there. Anti-Federalists, they wanted longer terms for the lawmaking body. Federalists said, hey, we don't need a Bill of Rights. It's already in all the state constitutions. This will be repetitive. The Anti-Federalists said, no, it may be in the state constitutions, but that protects you from the state. We want protection from the national government. Again, this is by far the number one complaint about the new Constitution. Well, who won in the end? Giving things away, like I usually do. Give away the ending too soon. You can see the scorecard there. The Anti-Federalists really only won one argument. And that was their main argument. They did get a guarantee that a Bill of Rights would be passed as soon as the Constitution was approved and a new government was elected and sworn in. And that's exactly what happened. On the very first day of the brand new Congress, they approved the first 10 amendments to our Constitution, otherwise known as the Bill of Rights. So the Anti-Federalists did win that part. All right, this should really help you with that slide that you're in charge of doing in class tomorrow. Again, not homework. Hope you have a great night. See you tomorrow.